Well, I was just thinking earlier um, about Bitcoin. Can it go any higher? From 110. It seems to be stuck at 110, 112 as being the highest this time around. Uh, can it reach a higher number? A lot of people, I don't know. I don't know how they think they know, but a lot of people are just making YouTube videos just to get you to click, and they just put out wrong information. They see a chart going up and they think that it's gonna go higher. Now, the thing is, it's like, what's the odds of it going higher than what it is already? Could it reach a higher number? Presently, I don't think Bitcoin can go any higher than it is right now. Then again, it's like when it was at 30,000, I didn't think it was going to go any higher, and look what happened. There's that big need. Yeah, people. There's need for cash. There's need for currency to start businesses, operate, and become. Becoming an independent person, like some of us are into just being independent, and there's a lot of need for capital, and we're looking for an alternative to the current banking scam that's taking place over the world. So this kind of liberates people into hopefully that's going to end. Hopefully the banks are just going to just fade away, and we can get some laws upheld to stop usury and these crazy fees that they charge for random fees, just amazing amounts. Their profits are like 50%. Some banker was talking about it. Their profits being like 50%. That's why things like these are in the Bible and other books that usury laws. That's why they have usury laws. That seems to be out the window. Because people know that these are numbers that like compounding. You drain the wealth out of a country if you compound the shit out of an account. Out of the people, to the point that it's like you got billions of dollars of coming into your pockets every year, and you just become more wealthier and wealthier and without end. And some of these people just don't stop. They have no way to. They can't say, okay, you know what? I'm going to close my accounts and just keep the money in a vault or something and just leave it alone so I don't get any more interest, and let the rest of the country, let the rest of the world have access to some of the wealth. I know that's different topic than Bitcoin, but that's what it is. It's like can Bitcoin go up? Certainly it can. It sure can. Can it go up in the next year that much? Possibly, but then again, it's like sometimes these things take time. And it takes time to establish something new. And the people that are willing to perhaps buy into Bitcoin and having it as something that they can use for themselves, it takes time, and it's hard to break the old habits of having the old dollar. Having the good old currency, especially the dollar. When it's strong, it's strong, even though it's not backed by gold. People think that it's backed by gold, but it's not. Okay, it's not. It was taken off. But anyways, that's another story for another day. I talked about that several times already. Anyways, but how about the altcoins? If Bitcoin doesn't go up, could it affect the altcoins? When it starts coming down, could it go into the altcoins? Or is everything heading into another winter? And most likely, well, not most likely, but and we missed a chance for an altcoin season, like we're hoping. Most likely not. That's not going to happen. When people hold Bitcoin and it's not doing anything, they're going to say, how about these other coins? They're going to start looking at the other stuff. They're going to look at, they're going to look at Bitcoin Cash. And I was never a big fan of Bitcoin Cash or anything, but until I saw the story about it, and it's really, it's got the original blockchain, period. And so do most of the other coins that I'm into. They possess the blockchain of Bitcoin, and is Bitcoin Cash going to go up when the altcoins go up? There remains to, when the altcoins go up, boy, it just takes off. It takes off like a rocket. Now, could we go into a rest period, maybe 2-3 years of nothing happening? There's no way to determine that. I don't think there's a way. I'm sure if you put a bunch of people to study the situation, they're going to come up with an answer. I don't think, like I say, I don't think Bitcoin is ever going to go under 50,000. I really don't think, unless the world is taken over and, by one group of people and they ban Bitcoin altogether, which is like, you can't really ban it. It's something like drugs. You can't ban, you can ban them, but you can't get rid of them. You can stop people from, you can tax the hell out of cigarettes, but there's people who are going to get around that. They're going to grow their own tobacco. The same thing with pot and all these drugs and things like that. It's not a vice. It's something useful. It's something like cars. Try to get people from giving up their cars. They're not going to do it, and you got to kind of go along with the flow. So I don't see Bitcoin probably heading up any more than maybe 115,000 again for several months or maybe a few years. I don't think it's going to head to. I don't think it's going to. It may go down to 75,000 or so. While that money, the trillions that are in Bitcoin are going to flip over to the altcoins. LTC and Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash, and then the grayscales are going to probably more than likely going to kick in just as well. We did have a grayscale. The trust kind of went up last week a little, and I think they're doing that today also, just a little bit ahead of the cryptocurrency. Even though they kind of went, we're going sideways, but grayscale seems to be moving a little bit higher than the natives. So they're kind of two different beasts, and who's to say that a lot of people are just going to dump Bitcoin and go into a lot of these grayscale and then altcoins kick in, and then we have our altcoin season. But I'm still very hopeful that being conservative, we can like back in last year in April, a year ago already. Wow, more than a year ago. We like my account was at I think it's something like 250,000. And then little by little, it just started creeping down, creeping down, creeping down. And it's like, how far down is it going to go? My God. But that's the way it. If anything, I thought that, from there, we're going to really hit high gear again. But it didn't happen. I mean, for instance, GXLM or Stellar Lumens, that was very disappointing. Watching the chart that I showed a day or a couple of days ago, very disappointing chart. Good buying opportunity, if anything. Maybe that's why that grayscale went up, because I said something and somebody bought a lot of. Actually, well, what I see is the opportunity is still there. It's still there like it was when I got into these a year and a half ago. I mean, it's frustrating that, going down from 250,000 to like what? Well, actually, I have more in a couple other accounts, maybe 40,000 or so. I mean, these are tools. These are tools that I use to make that amount become bigger. It's just that it's not going my way right now, boy. But it's a little better. Things have improved from what they were about a month ago, 2 months ago. Gee whiz, it's like what the. And so, anyways, I see that Bitcoin may just stay stable for a while, and it might start dropping. And once it starts dropping, probably money going into Tether or one of those other ones, stable coins are probably going back into the dollar. We may see a jump in the altcoins. Before you know it, they start taking off like crazy. I'm still very, very hopeful for that. And I'm very hopeful that probably the rewards are going to be maybe 5 times as greater than what I'm predicting. My account was at 1,080,000. This is crypto, and it's down to like 50,000 or 40,000. But I'm hopeful that it could jump back up. And I'm hopeful, not just hopeful, but there's a very good possibility that it could go 5 times greater than it was the previous, about 3 years ago or 2 years ago. 3 years ago, I think. Yeah. About 3 years ago. There's a possibility that it can go maybe at least 5 million. So that's what I see. Am I wrong? You gotta take some chances sometimes, and it's really hard. So, like I say, after this, I'd be set if it goes back up. If not, I got other little stuff going on. I still have the stocks, and there's certain tricks you can do in order to grow with those. It's just that I'm concentrating in cryptocurrency right now. Let's see how this pans out. In the meantime, I opened up my policy. I got that going. It takes a while, but it's generating compounding interest, non-taxable, and I can take out that money anytime I want. I can loan myself that money. If I need to pay an expense or something, I can loan myself. Just, you pay it back, but you pay back with very, very cheap interest. Not giving you any financial or advice or anything, but man, guys, I tell you, if I would have opened up that account when I didn't know much about it, just that I didn't know much about it. Had I had somebody kind of push me into it, I might have done it, and I might have been able to see how wonderful it really is, how much better it is than having an IRA. uh, especially if you have kids or anything like that, and you want to pass on your wealth to somebody else. An IRA. Eventually, you got to pay taxes, and you're penalized, and you can't do this, you can't do that. The other one is very, if you're mature enough to handle a good account, and mature enough to see that. Did I tell you the story about South Africa? This is what synonymous with these the story about holding something for a long time and passing it on to another generation. In South Africa, they're redistributing things to black people, taking from the white people, the white farmers, and they're giving it to the black people. They're stealing it because they're racist. Okay, the ANC is a racist organization. It's just for black people, and never mind the white people that are producing. They produced a lot of the gross domestic product for Africa. So they give the farm away to these people. In this farm they produce oranges to send out into the world, with world class quality, to compete in the markets out in the world. Not cheap, junky fruit, but quality fruit that you can sell monthly, every year, every day. You keep shipping your oranges. So they had the orange, what is it called, a grove? They had a big farm for oranges, and they take the farm away, give it to the black people, and I'm not being racist or anything. If anything, it's the other way around in this case. But the black people go in there, and it took these people a long time to grow the right trees, the soil, prepare. And what do? They chop down the trees to sell as firewood. Okay. I don't need to comment. I don't need to make comments. But the same thing with these accounts. I've talked about it a million times already, I know. But if I had one of those accounts, started when I was, when I first read about them when I was 17 or 18 or whatever, gee whiz, in 40 years, how many years? Yeah, 40 years. That account would have grown, even though it might have been just a few thousand, a few $100 maybe, back then. That account grows, and okay, one of those things that you wish that you would have done, but you didn't because whatever, because you thought you were smarter working in the system, and I thought that by working in the system I was going to make more good money, and I mean I have, and yet I haven't. What can I say? I mean, there's always the possibility that it's never going to come back. But I got these other things going on, and I got one of those policies already started, and if anything, it's going to really start kicking in when 10 years from now for sure, at least 7 years. And time go, guys. If you're young, if you're in your 30s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, whatever, the best time to do it is do it now if you can. Don't throw your money into crazy stuff. Don't get involved with IRAs or these 401ks or whatever. If you do, find out if you can implement these things into your into the plans of the company. But don't let time take it away from you. And if you're older, you can always leave it to your kids and so forth. There's ways to to pass on the machine itself, the contract itself, pass it on. You put it in a trust, for instance. I'm not giving financial advice or anything, but this is what you can do. You put it in a trust, and that trust keeps producing generational wealth for your family, so they never have to be poor again. So anyways, that's what I see about Bitcoin. I don't think that it may go higher. Just my thought, my gut feeling. Oops, my gut feeling. I'm not going to show you charts or anything. It might go higher in years from now, several years from now. But that money is going to come into the altcoins. And if that's going to happen, it should happen within the next, I don't know, at least. We're in May. Gee whiz, we're halfway there. May 30th, right? Yeah. June 1st. We're in June 1st, almost. 5-6 months. So another 6 months, it's going to be December. I would say it's got to happen at least once people see that Bitcoin is just going sideways and not doing anything. There's going to be a little revolt, and then the money's probably going to start entering the altcoins if it happens. You know, there's always that little negative thing. Not when it happens, but, you know, when it happens. If it happens, you know. If anything, we might have to wait another, 3 years or so. So, I don't know. Looking at that mountain, let's see how far that mountain, develops that second head on Bitcoin, and it's still kind of. It's still hard to say, we need at least another 2 months to see what's developed and what's happening. And we're coming into summer months, and not too much happen. And maybe in the fall, it might be come around fall that, we finally get some good activity going. Then depending on what the world scene is also, we have stability or instability. Those are things that may affect people from moving their money around, and then they rather go to cash and hold a dollar instead of holding anything else for the moment, because, it's dollar, safe, pretty safe. Even though you got a lot of stuff going on, and we've had a lot of stuff going on in the past, the dollar is still the safe haven. If anything, from the dollar you go to gold. So that remains to be seen. I would say at least come after summer, we're probably, let's see if something really, really happens. And I mean, who's to know? Nobody knows. But, you can see all you can have people show you all kinds of charts, and it's like, nah, I can't. You can't predict the future with a chart. You just can't. So even though people talk about it all the time, I don't see it. I've never. Every time I've tried to trade or something by looking at a chart, all I like to see is the potential of something. Does it have the potential of kicking really well? Yeah, because you got these facts. Like there's a demand for cash. There's Bitcoin is going up. How can these altcoins not go up? It's like, gee whiz. But when? Okay, guys, that's all I wanted to say. Talk about Bitcoin and what's in the future, I guess. Okay, have a good day.